What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Laying the Points with Farley Bets. Me. This is the Week 7 recap show, thesis statement show, where I go through every single game that happened on Sunday and talk about the meaningful things that I took from it, aka my thesis statements. We had a big Week 7. Still have 2 plays left. I'm going to give out a free play, a 3-unit top play that I've only given to my paying subscribers at the end of this podcast today. So look forward to that. We are 9-3 for plus 9.62 units in Week 7, and I love our positions tonight. So I think we're going to have even more. I know it sounds a little kitschy probably at this point, but this is what we do at this time of year. My favorite time of year, Week 7 and beyond, is where we win the most. Something to consider years moving forward. I think I need to greatly reduce my unit size and exposure to the sports books from weeks 1 through 6. But that being said, Week 7 has been fantastic. That free play will be out at the end of this podcast. My name is Chris Farley, aka at Farley Bets on X. You can get all of my top plays, all of my official plays at farleybets.substack.com, or just search for Farley Bets on Substack. Also going to be delivering what I call dependability ratings on Wednesday, where at this point in the season, we start to see which teams can we depend on, what is the predictability of these teams at this point. We talked about regression last week, like which teams will improve or devolve. This week, we'll talk about dependability, covering against the spread. Can we expect the same product every single week? In the contest show, which is on Wednesday, that's when I'll do that on Wednesday, but I just want to talk about a few programmatic changes here. Each Wednesday moving forward, I'm going to talk more about ATS contests against the spread, like Circa Millions, what I would pick in those contests, or what the most likely or the best picks would be in those contests, instead of talking about Survivor. And that's because we're at a crucial point in Survivor. I have 2 entries left. You can search for it at Farley Bets on Circa Survivor standings. And I don't want people to know who I'm going to pick from now on, right? Like, we have 18.7 million at stake. And do I think people are honing in on my picks? Not necessarily. I think they should. I think they should, because we've been pretty good at Survivor historically. But I'm not going to give away too many of my thoughts anymore on Survivor, because that's how serious that is becoming. I also want to say a quick programmatic change, and a very important one, is that moving forward, every one of my podcasts is going to be much shorter. The NBA season is coming. It actually starts tomorrow night, which is scary to think about. I'm not going to be betting the NBA very much at first. Very slow burn as I focus on the NFL until Christmas. That being said, I do want to mix in some NBA thoughts, analysis. We're plus 96 units in the NBA the past 4 seasons. We were historically good the first 3 seasons we bet it. The last 2 seasons have not been good. And we want to get back on a winning track in that, because the NBA, it's very tough, injuries, etc. There's a lot of stuff that goes on there, but we feel more confident stepping back, not as much exposure, and dissecting the NBA in a smarter way moving forward. So that's what we're going to do. And it has been our bread and butter along with the NFL. So because the NBA is starting, I might do 5 different podcasts, 1 every day, but very short. For now, I'm still going to stick to 3. Today's show, the recap and thesis statement. Wednesday, the contest show. Friday, the week preview and analysis of every game during the NFL slate. What I might insert sooner than later, is an NBA show on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So that would mean 5 podcasts a week. That's a lot of work. I got other opportunities that came up, so I'm going to be very, very busy. So I'm going to have to shorten these podcasts. I hope you understand. Let's move on to this Week 7 slate and what happened. Let me take a little sip, as I just finished my coffee. And you ever get that? Like, I got that cotton mouth going on. So I need one more sip so I can pronounce things right. I'm getting lazy with my verbiage here because of the dry mouth. Okay. Do you want to know any more details about my dry mouth? Probably not. Okay, let's move let's move on here. Rams at Jacksonville. Not at Jacksonville. It was in London in England. But this is still proof that the Jaguars are not quite there yet, right? The Rams are more there. And obviously a Super Bowl winning head coach and quarterback, that's going to be the case. And actually for both teams, it has not been consistent enough. You can say that for the Rams too. Like the Rams kind of a stinker last week, even though they won at Baltimore. Didn't beat the 49ers when they were very injured. Should have beat the Eagles and didn't pull that one out. So the Rams have their issues too here and there. And Puka Nacua wasn't in this game, but it did not matter. Matthew Stafford, 5 touchdowns, and the Jaguars just looked asleep the whole time. Also, interesting note there, maybe you follow Sean McVay's travel plans. They left the day before that game and arrived pretty late. And so they, all business, right? Go into London, win, leave. Bada bing, bada boom. Don't enjoy the UK at all. Just fly in, fly out. Kind of like that perspective. I didn't like it going into it. I was like, I don't think that's going to work very well against the Jaguars organization that's used to being there, right? I had Jags +3. That was one of my 3 losses. But Jaguars asleep at that one. Liam Cohen unable to get his players right. So it's still, it's still a new operation, right? And we got to give him some time. Tennessee hosting the Patriots, and the Patriots, in what was a close game, pull ahead for a margin victory. My thesis statement is Drake May is becoming that guy. That guy, I'm not saying he's like Tom Brady just yet, but there are some quarterbacks in the NFL who you can depend on that they will pull through and perform at a high level for their team. And what that usually means is against the spread, they're going to be very good, right? Like the Joe Burrows of the world. Right, Aaron Rodgers, the way he used to be, still shows signs of that now. But like Aaron Rodgers in his heyday, the Packers weren't getting blown out. He was going to deliver every single week. Not a lot of interceptions, not a lot of mistakes. That's who Drake May is right now. And like he is, like you look at a true franchise quarterback and what that means to an organization. It's consistency, right? It's poise. It's delivering over and over again. He is an ace at the long ball. Like more long passes and touchdowns against the Titans that kind of created the separation there. And, the Titans are still the same team. But Drake May is becoming that guy, which means the New England defense can start to thrive. Patriots are a real threat. I mean, I don't think they're going to the Super Bowl. Let's, tone that down a notch. But they have their guy and they have their coach. That's huge, right? The Patriots for the next 10 years are going to be competitive, in my opinion. Saints at the Bears. This was the Dennis Allen revenge game, and that's the biggest thing you should take from it, right? Dennis Allen used to coach the Saints last season, got fired, defensive coordinator of the Bears. This was the Bears' defense best performance. They forced turnovers. They limited the Saints all game. And Caleb Williams is certainly like, you can't watch Caleb Williams and say he's not getting better. He is getting better, and that's scary because the Bears are talented. If their defense is going to start to get better, this can be a truly legitimate contender in the NFC over time. But let's slow down a little bit, okay? Their last 3 wins against the Raiders, against the Commanders in the rain and wind. Jaden Daniels had some injured guys around him. Not ideal situation for the Commanders. And now they beat the Saints, right? So they beat a few cupcakes. They have a bigger test next week. Let's see what happens there. But Caleb Williams, 3 interceptions all season, right? So there's some terraforming going on. That's the word for when a planet starts to form, right? Like the planet of Caleb Williams, the star power is starting to come out. Dolphins at the Browns. This was one of my circa picks. I'm very proud of it. The Browns. I said it on Cleveland iHeart Sports Radio Sunday morning, and it ended up being true. I said this is an environmental spot for the Browns. And my guy, Scott Davidson, who's the host of that show, is like, I've never heard that before. Environmental spot. Yeah. Because these are the kind of games you want to take the Browns, right? It's few and far between. But when they face another poor team like the Dolphins, who are completely disorganized right now, things are chaotic. You can tell Mike McDaniel's just Tua's losing the locker room. Mike McDaniel has lost the locker room. But Cleveland at home, in the wind, in the rain, with that defense, I thought Cleveland's offensive game plan was really predictable, really simple. and the Dolphins still couldn't stop it eventually, right? Mistakes by the Dolphins give Cleveland opportunities. Cleveland was going to win that game no matter what. The Dolphins are a dumpster fire. Let's move on. Panthers at the Jets. My thesis statement is, how is Aaron Glenn not fired yet? I think it's coming. The Jets gained 220 total yards at home with one win on their record. I mean, that is pathetic. And kudos to Carolina. Their first winning season with Bryce Young. They're 4-3. They have a winning record. So it's not a winning season, but they have a winning record finally for the first time under Bryce Young. And Bryce Young is in a great spot now. His defense is playing well. Their running game, they figured something out with Rico Dowdle. And Chuba Hubbard is looking like maybe the number 2, but that's a great combination. Panthers a little feisty. Now, they beat the Jets in a close game. Let's be fair. But they're not just going to be walked over anymore, I don't think. Eagles at the Vikings. Jalen Hurts showed up in this game. Minnesota's defense did not. And I know there was a lot of big plays at first, but when it mattered, the Minnesota defense could not stop the Eagles. Kudos to the Eagles for finally showing some life on offense. Kudos to me for calling out Brian Flores and this Minnesota defense weeks ago. For 2 seasons now, we've been hearing it constantly. Brian Flores, aggressive play caller, great defensive coordinator. And I was like, I guess, but it's not consistent. And it's not consistent in these spots very often. Eagles proved to be the better team. Still a question mark about Saquon Barkley. Like, it was interesting coming into the season, his prop to lead the NFL in rushing yards was not getting a lot of love. The market never liked it. It's as if everyone knew that Saquon was going to really regress this year. And that's what happened. But Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis back for the Eagles, that makes a huge difference on their defensive line. Just a very, very good front. Still one of the best in the NFL when those 2 guys are healthy. Raiders and Chiefs, there's not much you can say about this game. I heard a few good podcasts talk about the Raiders as a possible spooky upset situation over the Chiefs, everybody was going to pick a survivor. And there wasn't even a second of that possibility in this game. It is the most disparate box score you might ever see in the NFL. 434 to 95 total yards. The Chiefs outgained the Raiders. First downs, 30-3. 30 first downs for the Chiefs, 3 for the Raiders. This was an absolute annihilation of the Raiders. Pete Carroll, bye-bye. I don't think that's going to last. If you're Tom Brady, if you're the leadership of this franchise and some of the other guys that have a stake in the company, it's really bad. It's really embarrassing. The Giants at the Broncos. I could, of course, talk about this all day. I'm mainly pissed. Not that I'm a Giants fan and they lost. That is annoying. And they coughed up that game, right? 26-8 with 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Their defense plays conservative. Jackson Dart throws the easiest pass to a defensive player you'll ever see in your life. Easy interception for the Broncos. Short field. They score again. So they scored what? They scored 15, 16 points in like 2 minutes. Crazy turnaround. Very improbable. The most annoying thing about it is 440 entries in Circa Survivor survived because the Giants lost that game. The Giants should not have lost that game. They controlled most of that contest. Fourth quarter, let it go. Insane. I don't even want to talk about that. But my thesis statement there actually is that a rookie quarterback, right, like Jackson Dart, he's going to have those rookie mistakes. Like, we still, as Giants fans or Giants bettors, you have to live with the fact that the rookie nature of Jackson Dart and this youthful team is going to let you down sometimes by mistakes. We saw it against the Saints, and we saw it this week. Every other week, at least, something like that is going to happen. Colts at the Chargers. My thesis statement is I never understood why the Chargers were favored in this game, and it showed on Sunday. No Joe Alt is starting to show a huge problem. Their ongoing defensive injuries and their lack of a run game. 55 pass attempts from Justin Herbert in this game and multiple interceptions. Not good. Not the direction that this team needs to go. And the Colts just keep showing up. They're healthy. They're a well-oiled machine. Good for Daniel Jones. Good for Jonathan Taylor. Shane Steichen outclassed the Chargers in L.A. Very impressive. We were on the Colts. Wish I had more on the Colts in that game. Washington and Dallas. I just feel bad for the Commanders, man. Like, Dallas was able to do whatever they want in that game, and that's kudos to a really good Cowboys offense. They are a good offense. They're the number one scoring team in the NFL. There's no they're the number one in total yards. There's no doubt about it. Like the Cowboys have a very legitimate, very good offense. Dak Prescott is playing great football, but the Commanders are just so banged up, man. And now Jaden Daniels probably out a few weeks. No bueno. I think they get absolutely blown out against the Chiefs next week. Green Bay at Arizona, we were exactly right about this game, and frankly, the Packers were lucky to win. Packers outgained 330 to 262, 23 to 19 in first downs. We had the Cardinals plus 6.5. I can't believe that went up to plus 7 at some books before the game. Jacoby Brissett is a better quarterback for the Cardinals. It shows, right? He can stand in the pocket. It's the kind of offensive line where it's going to get worse if you try to scramble too much, right? Jacoby Brissett knows how to stand and move in the pocket. He's a big guy. He's a good leader. Like certainly seems like a better leader than Kyler Murray because he's been around. He's a guy you can look up to literally. Like he's just a huge dude. If I'm Jonathan Gannon, I'm saying goodbye to Kyler Murray. Let Jacoby Brissett roll with this team. The Cardinals do not lose by much when they lose. They played really good defensively. They probably should have won this game. Green Bay pulls it out, but the Green Bay is shady. Like, I don't trust Green Bay. Atlanta at San Francisco, finally. Another one that went exactly how we thought. Atlanta's offense is talented, but it's also highly predictable, right? It's like Bijan Robinson, and then Michael Penix Jr. has a strong arm, right? And it's pretty simple, but San Francisco and their defense, if you haven't been able to tell, like they'll be okay. And it's one of those things like Aaron Donald, right? Like when he left the Rams defensive line in front seven, it's like the Rams still had life because they had the legacy of Aaron Donald there. So they know how to coach and train greatness. Well, that's the same thing with Fred Warner, right? With Nick Bosa. When guys like that go down, first of all, the 49ers know how to bring in good guys, right? They know how to sign good young talent. So they still have a lot of great players on defense, but the next guy steps up and they have a great legacy. And that's what we're seeing from the 49ers right now. Robert Saleh is in his bag as defensive coordinator of that team. You can tell he loves to be there. He loves this whole revenge season. Brock Purdy is about to come back next week. Kittle is healthy. Juwan Jennings is healthy. They are both significant improvements to their run blocking game when they're in. We saw it last night. 49ers are someone to watch out for. And I think they're going to have a lot of wins in the back half of the season. So we were exactly right on that one. We had the under and we had the 49ers -2. Love to see a great ending to my Sunday. Here is my free pick as we move right into it. We are under 20 minutes here, coming in on 18 minutes, not including whatever commercials were in this podcast. So just want to say once again, thank you so much for listening to this podcast, for the increase in my viewership and followership. Please spread the word. If you liked my message last Friday, please spread it even harder. You know, we as a country, as a people here in the United States, we need to band together. And I really appreciate all of you. And my subscribers, we're almost up to 600 total subscribers at Farley Bets Substack. Keep on rolling over there. Here is my free pick. Now, we do have the second leg of a parlay. I'll just say this. The Lions just have to win tonight, and that's a 2.5 unit win for me. I parlayed the Patriots and Lions. So Lions, please win. That'd be great at home in a great spot. I expect the Lions to win and cover actually tonight, but I don't have a bet on them covering. I do have a bet, a 3-unit play on the over 52.5. It's a 53 or 52.5, depending on where you look right now. I just don't see a world, especially the way these secondaries are a little banged up. You got Baker versus Jared Goff. You got Jared Goff at home in a dome. Both defenses can play well sometimes, but the offenses and these quarterbacks are going to take over. I love the over in that game. That's a 3-unit play for me. If both of those bets win, Detroit wins tonight and the over, we are going to be up 15 units this week, which is a significant dent in the in the deficit that we gained through the first 6 weeks. This is the time of year where we thrive. Like I said before, as I get a phone call, hopefully you can't hear that. So take the over tonight. I'll be taking it. It's one of my top plays. I believe it is my top play of the entire Week 7 slate. Love it tonight. Love you all so much. Follow me at Farley Bets. Follow all my plays at farleybets.substack.com. See you on Wednesday.